I think so. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Is that one live too?
Yeah, I think we're live.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
We are so old school today.
So old school. We are coming to you live from our laptop cameras.
Yeah. Somebody will get a direct on look. We've had some
lots of technical difficulties this morning.
And we've had some Eagle Scouts on it. They're working at re-rigging cords, dangling from the ceilings. We've got flux capacitors brought in.
Yes, all the tricks.
We thought about doing it with a cell phone, you know.
And so
we went way, way back in time.
But this is where we landed. Here we are.
Oh, you have 2 laptops.
So we have 2 separate laptops. So please bear with us. We're trying to.
One of them's YouTube.
One of them is on YouTube and one is on Facebook. So we're a little bit divided this morning, but we're glad that we can talk to both of you.
Which one am I on?
This is YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. And then this is Facebook over here.
So are these all these people are on?
Yeah, they're live watching.
On Facebook.
Oh, that one's YouTube and then this is Facebook.
I got more than you.
You
I'm
do?
pretty sure.
I don't know. I can't tell. I have no idea.
Hello from Arkansas and Pennsylvania and Oatmeal, Texas, Illinois, Northern New York, Round Top, Texas. I got dead people in Round Top, Texas, I think.
You?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't go very far.
No,
they just
that's
stay
true.
right there.
Yep.
I've been to see them several times.
Okay, so we are just hanging out, taking it easy this week. Jenny is back from traveling. We're filming some new tutorials, and so we thought we would do a Q&A and talk about what else we've got going on. So please start sending your questions through, and we'll start answering them.
Yes. There's some London, all my London peeps.
Oh, good.
Awesome. I had such a good time in England.
Oh, it looked amazing.
The age of that country is amazing. And I did learn that I have, I use the words fun and cute too much because there's 2 sisters in England that when my tutorial comes out, they sit, and every time I say fun, they take a sip of gin.
Oh, no.
And so by the time the tutorial is
awesome. Awesome is my
they did
word
say,
of
they
choice.
said, Misty says awesome all the time.
Yeah.
We don't say those words. So they use words like brilliant and marvelous.
I'll work on that.
You know,
I like brilliant.
I
Simply
like
brilliant.
Simply brilliant. Yeah, I like it too. Working on those those words.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Deborah says, Jenny, are you going to Idaho in November?
Yes. Coming to Idaho. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho in November. That's the last Jenny of the road. Jenny on the road for the year.
2019.
Yeah.
We will be there.
2019, yep.
Super fun. Let's see. Any other questions coming through? Ooh, let me scroll here.
Oh, someone said I have so much trouble making pinwheels come out the correct size.
Oh.
So that's a really good call for squaring your pinwheels because they're really just 4 half square triangles.
Right.
And if you cut your half square triangles a half size bigger than you want your finished size to be, then they'll come out the right size. So like
your squares before you make them.
Yeah. So you're going to put 4 of those together to make a pinwheel. And if you want a 6.5 inch block, well, this is going to be big math for me, so I'm not sure it's actually.
We'll get through it together. It's fine.
But like if you have 3.5 inch pinwheels, so 3.5 and 3.5, that's 7. You're going to lose a half an inch.
So your finished block will be 6.5.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Awesome.
So that's kind of how I do that. Let's see. Will you come to
Southeast Virginia?
Southeast Virginia. Actually, we're doing
I think we're working on that.
We're working on securing some spots next year for a 7 trip.
Yes.
7. We're going 7. And it's like Georgia,
Florida,
Carolina, around that southern part.
So maybe not quite up to Virginia's way, but
yeah, I don't know.
We're always trying to get places.
As far as I know, I'm going to the International Quilt Festival in Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, that could change, but as far as I know.
Will you consider traveling to North Carolina?
Oh, I'd love to travel to North Carolina.
I love North Carolina. Yeah. My brother lives there.
Oh, that might be in part of the.
I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. So just watch for those announcements to come out about next year.
We're hoping to announce all of next year's like early January, right? So all the events. What?
Very soon.
Oh, Mary says very soon. Stay
tuned.
Awesome. So exciting. So keep on the lookout.
We got people who watched us in Ypsilanti. We've got more people from England.
Awesome.
I loved England. Did I say that already?
You did. I wish I could.
I'm a bragger.
Anita wants to know what you have up for Christmas sewing.
Nothing.
Nothing right now.
You mean for my own personal family sewing?
Yeah, maybe.
So for tutorials, we're not quite there yet. I think I have another month before I start doing Christmas things, and that depends entirely upon is that if you guys remember that any quilt we make, if you use Christmas fabric with that, it's a Christmas project.
That's
you know,
true.
it becomes a Christmas quilt or a Christmas table runner. Generally, for my family, I try something small because I make something for all of them, and there's a lot. And by all of them, that includes. It's my 7 children who each get something, and then it's my parents and my 2 sisters as well.
I know, you're such an overachiever.
And so we're 7, 8, 9, 10. I usually make 10 things, and then I'm like, oh wait, I need 11 because I want one.
Right.
You know, so I try to do table runner or something fun like that for them that I can whip out really quick.
I know someone asked me when we were in Michigan how many things I have that you've made, and I was like, so many, and I love them.
A few, right?
So many things.
Oh my goodness.
I love it. Okay, let's see. Any other ones? Dun, dun,
Oh, can you
dun.
come to, Seattle. No, I thought it said West. She said West Coast. And I was like, wait, we're going to Road to California in January
Yes.
or whatever month that is, but it's Road to California. And I know it's in the beginning of the year. Let's see. I'm listening to the interview of the Startup Podcast. Oh, well, here we are.
Awesome.
She says, I found it live. Do we give it a new name or do we use the name of the quilt? Oh, when we make, you can do whatever you want, honey. If you want to name your quilt the same as mine, that's fine. My name's, that was Jacob. My names are always, naming a quilt is one of the hardest things I do, to be honest. It really is hard because everything, you know, you want something that represents the quilt. You want something that represents the fabric. You want something that represents the style, whether it's whimsy or elegant or whatever. And oh my gosh, so much brain work.
Well, and then you've made a lot of tutorials.
And
so
I've made
then
a lot of
coming up with a name that hasn't been
Right.
used. Is
And then
very
a lot of
tricky.
times the same block will have 2, 3, or 4 different names to it, you know. So it's like, do you want to incorporate the old names or, you know, that kind of thing. So that's a lot of work, but please name your quilt whatever you want.
Agreed.
This question about making costumes.
Oh no, where is that?
She said, did you have to go to school for making costumes, or did you just?
Oh no, so I started as a clothing sewer, and because I went to 4-H my whole youth, and so you learn everything you need to know about clothing sewing, and then costuming is just like it's clothing sewing simplified like
Right.
1,000,000%.
Because it doesn't have to be as fine.
Well, and when I learned to sew, we didn't have like scissors and things like that. So now we have all those fun things where it makes us really even faster. So, it's just kind of simplified.
Yeah.
Nothing. It just has to look good from 20 feet out and hold together for 2 weeks.
That's right.
You know, that's the kind of clothing.
Handle all the dancing and the
Right.
twirls.
But I love seeing some of the costumes that people come up with that are just, you know, it's like somebody was a bag of raisins and they were in a big garbage bag that was stuffed with stuff. You know, I think those things are so fun. I
love that.
love that kind of costuming.
Oh, let's see. All right.
Let's see.
Dun, 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 dun. Have you made a wedding ring quilt yet?
I have no.
No?
Mm-mm. No, I've actually almost made one with a Sizzix die.
So close.
Yeah, but I haven't yet.
That's awesome. Marianne wants to know if you'll be around for all the birthday bash events.
I will.
Absolutely.
I will in my Aloha attire.
That's right.
Yes, I'm already working on that.
That's right. We're ready for the
I've got
luau.
some of those obnoxious big giant Aloha earrings. They're like palm trees.
I can't wait.
I love them. I
I
know.
love it.
I have some for you too.
I know I love obnoxious earrings.
I know. Right?
Okay, so someone else, this is a great question. Kathy asks, can all of your patterns be enlarged and how easy is that to do? But I think since it's pre-cut based.
Oh yeah. So what if by enlarged you mean like gone from a queen to a king or something like that? So with the pre-cuts, what you have to remember is that 1 little charm pack makes a baby quilt, 2 charm packs makes a crib, 3 makes a lap, 4 makes a twin. So if you have 8, 8's going to make a queen.
Right.
You know, it doubles up. And so if you have 12, then you're going to get into the king size sizes. So the other thing too to remember is that when we make a quilt, sometimes we make the quilt and it's not as big as we thought. And that problem is solved so easily. If you add you know, a 4-inch border, your quilt is now 8 inches bigger because it doubles on each size. And if you add a 10-inch border, your quilt is now 20 inches bigger, or any multiples of, you know, like if you add a 2 and a 4 and a 6, you know. So bordering is a great way to expand the amount of your quilt, because I've often run out of fabric that I used for my blocks, but then I wanted a certain size. So then I would just border it out bigger and bigger.
Awesome. Can everybody hear us okay?
So somebody just asked, have you thought about coming out with patterns for clothes? I have, and I have been working on that for a while, but it's not really going anywhere at the moment. So
someday.
It's one of those things where I have lots to do and not enough time. Not enough time.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said can't see you. Can you see us?
Copper, come on, get it together.
Jake.
Oh, they said Eleanor Burns has a good double wedding ring pattern.
Ooh.
Super easy and way less stress. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
Also, I know that that Metro rings that's by the darling little sisters.
Oh.
Me, my sister.
No. No, but anyway, they have a quilt called Metro Rings, and
that one is so
and
cute.
it is really cute, and it's the closest I've seen to a double wedding ring that's actually easy because it's done by using strips.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Somebody said, "What's your favorite quilting tool?" What's your favorite quilting tool?
My favorite quilting tool is this little ruler.
My favorite quilting tool is a rotary cutter.
That too. So both of those. If I could have both of these things.
My favorite is a sewing machine.
Oh yeah, Jake
sewing
likes a sewing machine too.
Jenny likes that trimmer, the slotted trimmer.
Oh yeah, you love
Oh yeah, I do like the clearly perfect slotted trimmer. That's so I can square my blocks. That was always a hard thing for me.
I was so unsure if I would ever use this tiny little ruler, but it is my favorite. I love it.
What are we doing? Pixels? Are we in pixels? Can you guys see what everybody else is seeing? Because somebody said it's like we're like pixelated.
I think the resolution's a little bit better on Facebook.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
loves the two
if
and a
you're
half.
just joining us.
Oh, So Kind of Wonderful. That's the name of the girls.
So
Thanks,
Kind of
Meg.
Wonderful.
So Kind of Wonderful.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they have great patterns, and that the Metro rings looks just like it's very similar to a wedding ring without the work. So I actually want to do a tutorial using that ruler. I just haven't yet. But I should.
YouTube, this might work or it might kill the stream.
All right, we're gonna see if this works. Here comes another card. Be ready.
We're hoping it will improve our stream.
Did that improve it?
If you're just joining us, we had some technical difficulties, so we are kicking it old school, just working off laptops today. So that could be why it's not working.
Somebody just asked if we're ever going to have a bundle sale on rulers.
Ooh.
That's a great idea. Mary, put that down. Bundle sale, rulers.
I love it.
Bundle solar rolls. Stream is beautiful now, somebody said.
Yay,
Stream is beautiful now.
perfect.
Watching on my iPhone, coming through loud and clear. Yay.
If your stream is not good on Facebook, go to YouTube.
Somebody got the pineapple rulers and they love them. I love them too. Those are so fun. There's several things I want to try with those. Gosh, I just need like more hours in the day. More hours in the day. All right, let's see. What else?
Let's see.
Is an easy way to do a Y seam? You know, Y seam isn't hard. It's just stopping. It's just stopping that 1/4 inch and taking it out and sewing this side and then sewing that side. So it's not hard. It's just more time. Takes a little bit more time. And if you're a careful sewer, it's easy to do a Y seam. So don't worry about those. And I would just give it a try. Have you tried the 1 block wonder technique? I have made a 1 block wonder and I love that technique. And I don't want to get in trouble. Otherwise, I do a million tutorials on that because I think it's really, really fun.
Okay. Debbie made the Metro rings. That's awesome.
Have I seen the Mooney block that is all the rage on Facebook? I have not.
Are you getting close to releasing your block of the month quilt?
We are close. We are close.
Close.
Yeah. So like it'll probably next year. It'll probably be the beginning of next year. And that's going to be really cool. And I can't tell you about it because it's a bit of a secret.
It's a surprise.
Yeah. Surprise is a better word.
Okay.
Somebody made a hexie quilt using Y seams and it was fun. Glad you liked that.
Where'd we go?
Dang
it. Just when I find a comment, new ones come through and I keep losing them. Sorry, guys.
Let's see what else. I'm reading some questions. I have to make 1 billion half square triangles, what method would you use? I would use the Easy 8.
Yes.
And I would do it on whatever size blocks you're going to use. to get 8. And somebody asked me, how do you determine the size for what block to size start? Here's what I do. I make one. If it's too big, I make it smaller. And I make it smaller until I get to just about the size I need. I'm going to do a little bit of practice work, but that's because I'm not a math girl. I'm a hands-on girl. And so I'm actually going to make those blocks 2 or 3 times.
Here's your stack.
If you think that you guys want one.
Michelle says her borders ruffle and she needs help.
Oh, okay. So here's how to put on borders so they don't ruffle. Put your next to the sewing machine and put your borders on the top. Never put your borders on the bottom because the feed dogs take in more fabric. So put your border, when you sew, your quilt is here on the bottom next to the feed dogs. Then you put your border on, then you're going to sew. Also keep a, not a tight, but a firm hand on your borders. And that should really help you because that's probably the main things people do that makes them ruffle.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else have we got here? We've got, sorry, I have to squint because I have old eyes. I'll lean forward and see if I can see them.
Someone wants to know if you are a starcher.
I'm not a starcher, not because I don't like it. It's because I never remember to have my starching bottle by my, it's always like in a windowsill or someplace. And
I have the
forget,
same problem.
I forget that it's there.
The starch wanders off.
And I just want to iron and go, you know, so if I really want something to flatten out, I'll go find starch.
Yeah. Someone says, this is Liz. Our very own Liz says, as a costumer and quilter, are you a Halloween girl?
Oh, I am a Halloween girl.
We both love Halloween.
You have no idea.
Yeah, you really have no idea. So actually, before we had the quilt shop, every year we would pick a theme for Halloween.
The whole family.
The whole family dresses up that way. And the house, our big house becomes that. Ron would, like one time we did pirates and Ron made the whole front of the house a plywood. It looked like a battleship.
It was so fun. And the guys made
cannons
that
and
shot off.
The grandchildren came over and we made paper mache skulls that lined the walkway. I mean, we really get into it. And then Quilt Market is right at Halloween, and that started happening. And the town was like, you can't be going to Halloween. And I have really missed that. Yeah. That's one of my favorites. But Quilt Festival and Market is always at Halloween. I wish
It's so true.
Oh, what is a good quilt pattern for a beginner? Obviously, the more pieces, the more work it is, but it's all sewing straight from here to here,
Yeah.
But if you, like, my husband made me a quilt for Christmas like 2 years ago, and it was just flannel 10-inch squares, and he just sewed them together and put a flannel back on it and had it quilted, and he literally, one layer cake, or one packet of 10-inch squares, which is 42, and I use that every day.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just warm and cozy, and I love the big, and it's just flannel. So that's a great place to start for a beginner quilt. You want to make one for her husband.
I love that. Geraldine wants to know if you've ever sewed on a featherweight.
I have. My husband bought me a featherweight, and I very nicely put what I considered that little antique on a shelf and thanked him for it. And then I had to do a retreat in Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
And one of the organizers of the retreat carried on a featherweight for me to use during the whole retreat. And so she says, here, I've got this featherweight for you to use. And I'm like, I will kill that. I cannot sew with that. That is too tiny.
It's a long time already.
I mean, I was just so sure I was going to just destroy it. And she's like, no, you'll be surprised. It'll be fine. So I sewed on that little featherweight for a week. I mean, I sewed the heck out of that thing, and it just kept plugging along. It was like the greatest little thing. And so I actually had to come home and apologize to my my own featherweight because they're awesome. They're awesome to sew on. Yeah.
I know. I have one. It was my grandma's, and
how lucky.
I know. I love it. And so she taught me to sew on it as well as her other machines, but I inherited it when she passed away. So I forget about it, but I need to bring it out and oil it and use it.
We do featherweight retreats here where people come and only bring featherweights, and the featherweight people run them. They're not from the featherweight company, but they're people who are like big in the featherweight,
and they only sew on them.
Yeah. So they come and run them, and they're always full. They're so fun, those featherweight. And they teach you how to do all your own cleaning and fixing and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great retreat.
Olivia says, I have a problem. I collect layer cakes, charm packs, jelly rolls, and yardage. I have no clue what I will make, but I just have to buy help.
It sounds to me like you're a fabric curator.
That's right.
Yeah, like you like to, you're
Yeah.
Maybe a hoarder? No.
No. That's a dirty
You're a
word.
collector.
You're a collector.
You're a collector
of fabulous,
of fabulous fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We support it. So if you need help, you're unfortunately talking to the wrong crowd.
And if you need help, you want ideas, we have an app.
Yeah,
and the app is free, and on there all the tutorials download, and they have you can type in like jelly roll.
Exactly. You can sort by pre-cut.
You can sort it by pre-cut, and then all the jelly roll ideas will come up. I have to tell you a funny story about that. There was a gal in England who told me that she had got a new Apple phone, and that she took it into Apple because randomly wherever she was, it would just quack. And she's like, she couldn't figure out why it would just quack randomly. And so she was into Apple 4 times, and Apple kept saying, we don't know why your phone is quacking. And then one of her friends told her that that's what happens when a tutorial downloads. So if your phone quacks, now you know. It's a tutorial.
It's a new tutorial. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Check the app.
It's fun.
Let's see. Dun, dun, dun.
I love the collector idea. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
The square tool. What is that? What square tool? What are we talking about?
That's pretty cool. What is it? Maybe the
somebody said, love the app. Oh, can you show how to enlarge the Starburst block in order to make a large quilt? So to enlarge the Starburst block, what I would do is enlarge my half square triangles.
Yeah.
So so you're just going to make all your half square triangles bigger, and that's going to make a bigger quilt. Or you can keep going with the burst, where it keeps going. Oh, a larger periwinkle, please. We've actually talked about that.
That's a fun idea.
That would make a huge, big piece, though.
Yeah,
it would.
But it would be fun.
How many quilts of one pattern you design do you make before making the tutorial? So the way it works is I have an idea, and I flesh that out in a baby quilt, and then we make it in the tutorial fabric. Then it gets made again to test the pattern. And then it gets made again for Block Magazine. So it actually gets made 4 full times. Yeah. And then we have step outs.
3.5, because
all of those.
A little baby, and then 3 full size, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
That's how that works. It gets made 4 times. Is the Elisa worth the investment? So for me, the Elisa is worth the investment because my shoulders hurt, and you're not picking up, and I don't have good gripping anymore. And so for me, it's super good if you have any of those. I use mine every day, and they generally last about 2 years, maybe 2 years. And then they're kind of limping along, and then I will take them home and use them at home.
Right.
So they'll keep working. But also I've actually sent Elisa's irons back. Like one of my irons was just coming up and down. It wouldn't stop going up and down. And so I sent it back to Elisa, and they took right care of it, and they didn't know who I was. So
yeah,
to me, that was really good customer service.
That's awesome.
Let's see what else. Oh, the square tool is free if you sign up for the block of the month. What square tool is that? Do you know, Mary?
Is it the square in tool?
The square ruler?
I don't know. Look at block of the month.
We'll find out.
Let's see.
Do you prefer 80-20 batting or 100% cotton?
80-20, hands down. First of all, it holds together better. It's going to shrink less, and you can control the loft on it. And so I love 80-20.
Do you still have your first quilt?
I do. Well, I gave it to Alan. So
yeah.
If he has it, I have it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Actually, that's not true. That's not my first quilt. My first quilt were quilts I made for my grandma. My grandma used to embroider on
I love those.
Denim squares. She embroidered flowers. And she would say to me, can you just put this together, sew 6 of these together, and so I can give it to somebody. And I didn't know I was quilting. I was just sewing squares together for my grandma. And sometimes we'd sew 6 or 9. And then she started wanting bigger ones. And I didn't know it was quilting. Right. I just knew I was sewing squares together. So those were probably the first ones that I made. And then when I took my first class, it was a log cabin. And and I became very addicted very quickly with that log cabin.
Yeah, because you made like 12 of those, right? We have one of them. Jake has one.
I did make a bunch of those. Yeah. Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, I became addicted by what happened when you turned the square.
Yeah, because you get a different pattern.
The different patterns. I didn't know there was a million ways to set it. I just knew that you know, I was supposed to set it this way. And then I was like, well, what happens if? That's the way I've always quilted. What happens if? We're really having trouble with that one, aren't
I
we?
know. I think it must still be working because people are still commenting. So I'm just trusting that it's still there.
Oh, somebody said, where do people stay when they come to Hamilton? So, so there are quite a few bed and breakfasts that you can find. There are hotels in Cameron, which is 12 miles away, Chillicothe, 30 miles to the east. We also are only 45 minutes from the airport, and 45 minutes isn't a bad drive to come up to the shops. But even Ron and I got a little house on Main Street, and we're fixing it up. And I think I'm gonna. Yeah, Sarah and Alan have one. Jake just bought a little house. We're all buying these little houses. I thought it was, you know, it was really funny to me because I got a phone call from Hillary the other day, and she lives down in Arkansas, and she's like, "Mom, guess what? I just has these." They have a beautiful one on what is it?
Airbnb.
Airbnb, and
Awesome. So excited.
so that's kind of fun. So that's what I put up a picture of all these antique sewing legs that
I know people are dying
and
to
people
know.
are like, what are you doing with this? I'm like, these are going to be all of my nightstands and my vanities and my tables, you know. So I just thought it would be fun to make them all kind of sewing related. So that's going to be kind of.
What stitch length do you use?
I use a 2.5, and sometimes a 3. If a 3 goes faster.
Stitch length.
Stitch length. So 2.5 is pretty standard. You want it big enough that you can rip it, but small enough that it doesn't come apart. So like if I'm doing like little 2.5-inch squares, if I do them on a 3, they'll come apart really easily, and I don't want that. So you have to go down.
Sometimes you can make more quilting content.
Make more quilting content, like yours, like more.
We keep pretty busy around here, but we're always trying to bring you new stuff. So lots of good things.
Oh, somebody just said, and I love this question, what do you recommend for signing a quilt, and do you sign it? I don't have old quilts in my family, so I would love to find a quilt that adds. And I always just write on them with a Sharpie marker, a permanent marker, so it won't go away. I know that's not the best way before everybody gets all up in arms about it. I know it's not the best way. And obviously if you have a back on it with cuddle or something like that, it doesn't work. Yeah. But like I'm just thinking of it. And funny is I've done that for years.
Yeah.
Just signed them. And then, we like Misty's baby, has a label on that quilt. Like I wrote on muslin.
Oh,
Wrote on muslin, so the binding. So I have another friend who she just embroiders her name and her the date, and she just stitches it anywhere on the back of the quilt.
Oh, that's fun.
And then they quilt right over it, and it stays
out of storage. And I did handwriting, and it's just like the sweet. It just made me so happy.
That is so sweet.
And remember her is awesome.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one more. Good. Relabel those with the information that you have.
Yeah.
And where you got it and where you found it. It can't be the last one. I'm sure there's more. The
signal's so bad.
The signal's bad.
Yeah.
The
time, guys, we just wanted to make sure we popped in. We hope that you'll come and join us for Birthday Bash in September. We're having dinner with the Dones, all kinds of fun stuff. So check out our events on our website, MissouriQuiltCo.com, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.
See ya. All right.
You have to stop that one.
We'll get it.
There we go.